Hey, the day kind of got away from us, but we're here to give you your weekend dose of motivation and inspiration. So many things are going on that I definitely want to talk about. But I think the anchor for today is make today better than yesterday. Always important that you have to keep it, because some days just go haywire, go crazy. You got people throwing darts at you, you got people trying to get on your nerves, you got people trying to get under your skin, you got all this stuff going on, but you shouldn't carry that into the next day. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think on a more I guess from a more spiritual point of view, how about just delete the people, period, when you're working on yourself?
We said that seems to be a recurring theme, is sometimes you have to get rid of the people that are basically, for lack of a better word, getting in the way. They're basically getting in the way. It's almost like that meme that goes around, is like, be careful of who you have in your boat, because not everybody is rowing. Some people are actually drilling holes. You know, when you go back to the thought of make today better than yesterday, sometimes that could be the resolution, is just making a conscious decision of, you know what, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not going to continue to deal with this anarchy and this craziness and this insanity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to make today better than yesterday was. I'm glad you brought it to that, I guess, spiritual level. But I find that, you know, it's a conscious effort. What I'm talking about this week coming up in the manifestation files is, you know, manifestation for the rest of us. You know, how we, you know, as people of color can actually get in on this whole manifestation thing. And part of what I'm going to be talking about this week is focus. Now, there are some days that for whatever reason you just can't focus. I know, I've been there. You just can't. You've got the greatest goals set up and you just get crap done that day. That doesn't mean that there's not tomorrow. You know, if you're giving it 120% effort, and for some strange reason the kids is all over the place, you know, you've got to pay bills, you got to fix stuff in the house, you know, you're having a conflict with your mate, and you just can't get anything done, but your intentions were to get it done. What I suggest is that you don't carry that into the next day. You start off with a fresh slate. Yeah, and this is why it's better sometimes just to, when you wake up, be like, you know what, I'm not dealing with Bobo over there, or I'm not dealing with Shelly over there, you know, because every time I deal with them, they seem to have the potential to sap and drain my energy. You know, so yeah, that's one way that you can make today better than yesterday.
Right. And then, you know, I mean, there are those situations where you can't just avoid certain people. I mean, in my case, it's only the children.
Wow.
But you can be.
You trying to get away?
I guess people say handle people accordingly.
Right.
I like to look at it as being selective and how I handle you, or interacting with you in a way where I only bring out the best in you.
Right. This is important on that whole positive mindset thing. Is, you know, it's like great leaders, they nurture those under them to become great just like them, if not greater. This is really the main job of a manager or a supervisor or director, is to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to elevate. In my mind, I feel, and I've been a manager, I feel that if I can't inspire my people to get to the next level, then I'm not doing my job.
Right.
You know, there's something missing in the equation. Work shouldn't be just, hey, I gave you this task and that's what I expect you to do. I mean, that's what they do in the military, but the military's whole goal is to have each and every person rise through the ranks.
Right.
You know, and I learned this from the military, that, you know, listen, the people under you, they're looking up to you for inspiration. They're looking up to you for tutelage. They're looking up to you to figure out how do they get to be in your position, if not higher.
Right.
You know, and you've got to always do that. Again, making today better than yesterday. If you haven't done that yesterday, now is a good time. Today is a good time to put those plays into effect because it's football season. You know, you've got to, you know, begin to look at the whole picture for what it is and say, hey, listen, for whatever reason, yesterday was a sucky day. When you open your eyes, if you're given that opportunity, you have to say to yourself, I'm going to make today better. I am going to make today better than it was yesterday, the day before, the week before, the month before. And when you wake up with that on your mind, just like when I put up my good morning post, I'm wishing everyone an amazing day, including myself. That is a psychological trick that I've been using for years. You know, hey, I greet everyone, I say good morning to everyone, I acknowledge the people that respond to the post, but at the same time, I'm telling myself today is going to be amazing. I smell the potential of something amazing taking form in this day.
Right. And, I mean, you know, we all come across those people that, you know, they tell you their problems, and every solution you have, it's just not the solution. I've been that person before. I think everybody has been that person before. When we get over, our mind is so focused on the problem that every solution is not a solution. It's just, it's no matter what you say, either to yourself or to the person or whoever, it's no solutions.
Yeah.
And that is when, if it's, you know, myself going through it, I have to reel myself back around and say, okay, you know, do something that, you know, makes me happy, so that way maybe a solution will come to me, or just to change my mindset a little bit.
Right.
And when I come across those people and I have those conversations, and, you know, eventually I stop giving solutions.
Right.
And I just say, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry that that's going on. Because
I get to New York, wow.
I was like, no, because in my head, that it's like a lot, you know, people naturally don't want to feel defeated. So if you just say, I'm sorry that's going on, you know, you give solutions, everything is so good, and you tell, I'm sorry that's going on, more than likely they're going to call you back like, oh, you know, I got the problem fixed, you know, I did this or I did that.
Right.
Because that last impression that you left was, it made them feel like, you know, you get to thinking, wait a minute, well, who is she to say? I'm going to fix it. I'm determined to fix it.
Inspiration.
But no matter what, in the end, you still help the person, or you helped yourself.
Right. You know, I find that giving of myself, or having the ability to give of myself, brings that warm fuzzy to me, because you know, a lot of people, because they don't embrace their gift, because they don't follow or feed into their gift, because they refuse to let their gift flourish, they can't be of value to other people. I love the fact that I can be of value to other people, and I go out of my way to be of value to other people. However, I'm not going to throw myself on a spear to help other people. Again, it goes back to self-preservation. You've got to be able to help yourself first before you can help others. When you wake up in the morning, again, or if you have a night job, when you wake up in the evening, you know, it's the start of a brand new day. It's a clean slate. You get to write, I guess, the narrative for that day. If you wake up with just thoughts of the day before, and you know, the people that interacted with you the day before, and all the crappy stuff and the bills that you got in the mail the day before that you don't have the money to pay right now, if that is your main focus, I can guarantee that your day will continue to spiral downwards, and then you're going to have to reset and try it again the next day. Again, it's a mindset thing. As my mindset grows, okay, and this is not bragging, this is the work that I put in to allow myself to see growth. You'll start to see things that you never noticed before. You will start to see darts that were at one time invisible. You will start to see that not everybody has your best interests in mind. You know, and yes, it can be a sad state of affairs, but with the shift in mindset and the belief of self-preservation and the belief that until I help myself, I can help no one else, I tend to let it just fall away.
Right.
As Jay-Z would say, dirt off my collar or shoulder, whatever he says in the lyric. I tend to just let it fade away. It's important. It's important because what I found out is as your mind grows and ego becomes less and less and less, it still fights for its foothold. And you'll find yourself, and many of you can attest to this, somebody will say something to you and you will, the situation is over, you're home, they're home, but you're playing in your mind what you should have said, what you could have done, how you should have reacted, how you should have responded to that. That's ego. That's ego because the situation is done and over with. It's done. It's finished. It's done, son. But yet and still, you're still replaying it in your mind. When your mindset begins to shift to a more positive aspect, you begin to take on the attitude, and I call it attitude because people, that's what they say, I have an attitude. They start to, take on the attitude of, oh, well, you're just arrogant, or you just think you're full of yourself. No, I just choose to not let the problem weigh me down. I just choose not to let the situation hold me back. I choose not to let your discussion basically keep me from moving forward. Now, what's wrong with that? There's somebody that hasn't controlled their ego that would find a lot wrong with that because you're not giving them. See, that's the important part. They want you to give them a chance to get under your skin, to get under their nerves, to put you on tilt, to keep you from moving forward. And then you become the most unfairest, unreasonable, full of themselves person in the world. What you're really doing is you're protecting your peace. I have found in the last few months, I walk away from distasteful situations. Because what I do is I take that 2-second pause before I respond and I say, hey, listen, at the end of the day, how is this helping me? And then once I say this is not helping me, I move it. I just keep it moving. If it's something that needs to be, I guess, figured out, a case of boundaries, a case of self-preservation or something like that, I say, okay, well, I'm just going to speak my logical piece. I'm going to keep emotion out of it. How many people have written an email to their boss full of emotion? They don't care about your emotions. They want the facts. How many people have sent in a paper, if it's not English lit and it's physics, and you send in a paper that's based on emotions, I feel, I think, I think this is the best way to look at it, and you turn that into your physics professor, they're going to give you an F because feelings don't play a part into facts. Would you agree or no?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, at the harsh reality is our feelings are only valid to ourselves, really.
Yes.
When you really think about it.
Yes.
And it's almost like the deeper, my thoughts get, the more I realize that it's almost like my feelings are gold and I have to choose who I want to share them with, no matter if it's good or bad. Right. Because people don't really care about feelings. If they cared about feelings, then we all would be very successful. Yeah. We'd be successful because everybody would say, oh, well, let me, let me support
the world wouldn't work.
Their feelings. Let me,
The world wouldn't work.
Yeah.
We'd probably be in a worse recession than we are in now.
Yeah.
Because everything that's invented is based on, well, I feel it should work this way. If it doesn't work this way, then hey, that's on you.
Right.
Coming with making today better than yesterday, you guys have noticed there's a few projects. I haven't been speaking as much about the Red Workshop because I'm doing stuff in the background to make sure that it's successful. I'm trying to do it on my own without building a GoFundMe page. With that being said, I am finding that I am able to create more things. And with the change in mindset and the discernment, I find that as I get further along, I am being constantly tested. I am being tested to the fact where I have to learn new things. I have to do new things. I have to break out of things that I'm used to doing to ensure that this is successful. This is part of the path. It does not upset me. Again, like I said, before you leave high school or college, there's probably a bunch of tests that you got to take that shows that you are verified to leave high school or college. So it's part of the process. These tests are basically, and this is just me sharing myself, to see if I really do have ego under control. Okay, we'll never have it fully under control, but for the most part, do I have it under control? Am I still that positive being? Am I just looking out for self, or am I looking out for others? Am I trying to enrich the lives of others? This is part of the test. And most importantly is, how far are you willing to go? How far? Because the further you go, the more uncomfortable it becomes. The more steps that you take towards your goal, the more uncomfortable it becomes. This is the reason why you have to wake up every morning and say to yourself, I'm going to make today better than yesterday. And it's as simple as saying that. Before you take that first foot out of the bed, to be able to say, hey, listen, I'm going to make today better than yesterday. We all start our days the same way, unless you're just a sloppy individual. You get up, you make up your bed, you go ahead and you wash up, or you get in the shower, you do what needs to be done so that you're fresh for the day. These same steps have to be taken with your mind. You have to go through somewhat of a routine with your mind. Positive affirmations, as we are going to be talking about on the motivational files. We have to start focusing on the things that are important, that we want the universe to manifest for us. We have to do this.
Sorry.
You all right? Okay.
Yes, please.
We have to do this each and every day without fail. Without fail. See, some people wake up worried about what happened yesterday. It's done.
Yep.
Why are you worried about it? Let's move forward.
Right.
Let's move towards the next stage of what it is that we're trying to accomplish. I mean, does that make sense, or am I just being too harsh?
No, you're not being too harsh. I mean, it's a huge benefit to just moving forward. It's a clean slate.
Yes.
You get one every day. I mean,
yes.
Like I said, the deeper I get into this, the more I realize you get one every second.
Yes.
You really do. You get a clean slate every second. Everybody, everyone's mindset won't understand that, especially when things aren't going maybe as you planned, or
as ego planned out for you.
Or as you thought. I mean, it could be something that's heartbreaking, tragic. But as long as you're still breathing, then you get that clean slate.
Yes, definitely. It's very important that you give yourself that clean slate. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, stop beating yourself over the head. You deserve to have a stellar life, and the only way that you're going to have that stellar life is by changing that whole mindset, that whole routine, those activities that you do every day. Some of us wake up in the morning and we yell at the kids, and we yell at the dog, we yell at the cat, we yell at ourselves. That's not a good way to start the day. I like to start my day with a cup of coffee as I plan out the day, because I'm planning out the day to be better than it was the day before. What she brought up earlier in this transmission was the fact of people that are getting in the way. I'm going to tell you a secret. They're always going to be there. And that was part of my adjusting my mindset, was to not worry about it anymore. Because to be transparent, honest, somewhat gets under my skin from time to time. Whenever I sense someone getting in the way of what I'm trying to do, yes, it irritates me. But I had to come to the realization and put ego behind and tell my subconscious is like, well, hell, listen, you can still do what you do. So whatever they say, what difference does it make? What you need to do is get better at what it is that you do. See, that's how you shut people up. That's how you get rid of the hate. Again, we talked about embracing hate, But at the same time, your mindset has to be there to understand how that process works. How you siphon energy from your haters to make yourself bigger, better, faster, and stronger. It takes practice. It takes time. It takes the willingness to want to learn how to do this.
Right.
You know, because there's somebody right now that can bring you to your knees to tears. You know, and there's someone right now that can elevate you and uplift you based on how they hate on you. You know, that probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but it's facts.
Right.
It is definitely facts.
Right. And I mean, again, eventually the haters is like you forget.
Or they become fans.
Yeah, but I said you forget. I mean, you literally. I mean, I'm to the point. I honestly wouldn't know who's hating, who's. Yeah, but I say who's not. But I mean, going back to the clean slate. Another thing is, I think a lot of us, you know, depending on what our baggage is in life, or you know what our mistakes were, when we, you know, embark on the journey of transformation or just changing, you know, our mindset, we want everyone to see this clean slate. Like, you want everyone to say, hey, look, I'm changing, you know, hey, I'm not like that anymore. It's not there. It's not. They can't see this clean slate. Only you can see the clean slate. And some people are going to have to be either deleted out of your life, and if you know you don't want to delete them, you're going, like I said, go back to that handling them selectively, meaning always trying to bring out the best in them. If there's someone that always criticizes you, is certain phrases you can say to basically you're letting them know it doesn't matter what you say, but you don't have to say that. You don't have to be argumentative. You can just say, okay, you know, I mean, anything, whatever your phrase is. I appreciate your input, or you know,
I'm sorry you feel that way,
or is that how you see it? You know, okay, I never looked at it that. Whatever, to make that and turn that negative into a positive. Yeah, they might walk away and say, yeah, she was just being. I mean, I've got it, or you just being smart. You just
right.
It really doesn't matter. I'm working with my clean slate. You don't even see it. You don't know it. And I don't. It is the miracle really happens when you don't even announce it.
Right. You
don't care who notices. You don't care if anyone wants to view you from whatever light. That's their light. You have your own light that you're standing under. That's right. You know, and hopefully eventually they'll just either go away, or they'll say, you know what, I can work on myself too. And then that's where the hate comes in, and the fake competition and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you get to that place of you know, keeping ego in check and really devoting yourself to yourself, it's smooth sailing.
It is. It becomes smoother because there's going to be a challenge each and every day. You know, it's how you deal with those challenges. It's how you deal with those difficulties. It's how you deal with those difficult people. Well, what I want you guys to do, we did this a little different because we had a meeting, and I knew it was going to run later than possible, and I didn't feel like running all around. But what I want you guys to do is, if you're a Windows user, you understand this, okay? So when your computer's acting super crazy, nothing's working, keyboard's not working, whatever, you know, there's this thing called the 3-finger salute. Alt, Control, Delete. Okay? If it's not working, you hit Alt, Control, Delete, and what that does is it just resets your computer, restarts your computer. Okay? You get an option that says go ahead and reboot the computer. Sometimes we have to do that with life. Sometimes we have to, no matter what the program is, meaning person, no matter what the situation is, you know, meaning the Windows interface, you know, sometimes we have to hit Alt, Control, Delete and just start over. You know, and that's what you should be doing every morning, hitting Alt, Control, Delete, getting rid of all the negative stuff that you went through the day before and say, hey, listen, it's a whole new day. I'm going to get it moving towards a great expectation, or as I would like to say, an amazing day. You got anything else you want to add?
No, you know, other than, you know, just keep going. I think the hardest part for a lot of people is the people that are close to them. Those are the people, unfortunately, that you're going to have to ignore the hardest.
Yeah.
You're going to have to ignore the hardest.
Trust
because
me, I
know. You're going to see the changes. They're going to see the changes. They're never going to give you, like, they're never going to say, oh, I really like the person. Don't wait for that. Don't, just I mean, I've been through it. I still go through it. I see the changes. I know for a fact that they can see the changes. Is anyone ever going to say it? No. No. They're going to do the false competition, or, well, we're all alike, or whatever the case may be. Just, push yourself forward. Don't wait for anyone else to push you forward. Don't wait for an applause. Don't worry about if anyone notices or, anything like that. It's just... You're simply taking it day by day, step by step.
Yep.
And no one else is really on the path with you.
Yep. And with that being said, we've got so much great stuff coming up. Stay tuned. I'm working on the Black Business Holiday Guide. Just so many opportunities for so many people, and it allows me the opportunity to raise money for the Red Workshop. But again, I need to bring value first before I can do anything. With that being said, I want to thank you guys. Hopefully we'll be back to regular broadcasts on YouTube Live next week. I want you guys to have a great weekend. Remember, practice that 3-finger salute or control delete. I'm sure you're going to have an opportunity sometime this weekend to do that. So go ahead and use it immediately. And always make today better than yesterday.
Yep.
With that being said, I'm Red.
And I'm Latif.
And you already know. Love you guys.
You cannot be a believer until you see your old life and the misery thereof and want to change.
You will find true success and happiness if you have only one goal. There really is only one, and that is this: to fulfill the highest, most truthful expression of yourself as a human being. You want to max out your humanity by using your energy to lift yourself up, your family, and the people around you. Theologian Howard Thurman said it best. He said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive."